This is section 2.2 part 1, where we are going to look at how to find the slope of a line. We've got a coordinate plane drawn down here. We've got our x and y axes. This little green line here is the line that we have graphed, and I've located 2 points on the line. The first point is x1, y1, and the second point is x2, y2. And in order to find slope, you're going to look at the change in y over the change in x. So this little triangle here represents the word change. So it's the change in y over the change in x. So we know slope is rise over run. And it makes sense because rise is up and down on our y-axis. So that's our change in y. And our run is along our x-axis, left and right, and that's our change in x. Alright, so we've got our m, which is our slope, it's our rise over run, it's the change in y over the change in x. So the formula in which we're going to be using, change in y is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And it's really important when you're using this formula that your leading numbers, in this case y2 and x2, come from the same point. You want to make sure you're going to lead from the same point, both in the numerator and the denominator. So let's take a look at a problem. All right, down below we see we've got 2 ordered pairs. We should be able to find the slope of a line given 2 ordered pairs. We've got -1, -2. And 1, 2. So we can designate x1, y1, x2, y2. If that helps you, go ahead and write that down. It's not necessary because any point can be x1, y1. All right. So but we'll just do this here. So we see our y2. So I got our slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Our y2 is the number 2, and our y1 is -2. So it's going to be 2 minus -2 over x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is -1. So it's simple plug and chug with the formula. So we can see we've got 2 minus -2. Minus a negative is like plus a positive, so 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 minus -1 minus a negative is plus a positive, so 1 plus 1 is 2. So in this case, we can see m equals 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And I'm going to show you the same problem, but just switching up the y2 and y1. Alright, originally I had this problem being my x2 and y2 was the second one. So rather than leading with 2, I'm going to lead with -2. Alright, so I've got m equals, alright, so rather leading with 2, I'm going to lead with -2. So it's going to be -2 minus 2. And remember what I said up above, that you always want to make sure you're leading from the same point. So if I led with -2, I don't want to lead with 1. I want to make sure I'm leading with -1. It's going to be -1 minus 1. What happens there? -2 minus 2 gives me -4. -1 minus 1 gives me -2. And notice, instead of 4 divided by 2, I now have -4 divided by -2. So if you switch the order of the points, so you're leading with the other point, all you're really going to end up doing is flipping your sign, but your end results should be the same answer. Because what's -4 divided by -2? 2. And we can still see that m equals 2. So that just shows you that you can lead with either of the 2 points.